February 24, 1978. 5 young men went to watch a college basketball game and simply vanished. 4 were later found dead in a snow-covered trailer, 20 miles from their perfectly working car. The 5th one was never found. But the most terrifying part, one of them was discovered frozen. After surviving 4 weeks by consuming a massive amount of food that was readily available in the trailer, yet he starved. This is the story of the Yuba County Five, often called America's strangest unsolved mystery. So, who were these guys? People called them the Boys. They were Jackie Hoot, Bill Sterling, Gary Mathias, Ted Weiher, and Jack Madruga. All 5 were in their late 20s or early 30s and lived with their parents in Yuba City, California. 4 of them had either mild intellectual disabilities or psychiatric conditions. They were incredibly close friends, almost inseparable. Their lives revolved around their families, their jobs, and their biggest passion, basketball. They had their own amateur team, the Gateway Gators, and they were scheduled to play in a tournament the very next day. They were so excited about it, they'd even laid out their uniforms. That night, they piled into Jack Madruga's prized 1969 Mercury Montego station wagon to drive about 50 miles to Chico to watch a college basketball game. Witnesses at the game said they saw the guys and they seemed happy, just enjoying themselves. After the game, they stopped at a local market for snacks and drinks, then got back in their car and drove off into the night. It was the last time anyone would see them alive. When they didn't return home, their parents panicked. A massive search began, but for days, there was nothing. It was as if they had driven off the face of the earth. Then, 4 days later, a forest ranger found something. High up on a remote, winding mountain road in the Plumas National Forest, he spotted Jack's Mercury station wagon. It was stuck in a snowdrift, but weirdly, the road had been plowed. The car was in perfect working condition, had a quarter tank of gas, and could have easily been pushed out of the shallow snow. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken windows, and the doors were unlocked. Inside the car, investigators found candy wrappers, soda bottles, and a program from the basketball game. It was clear they had made it there and back. But there were no footprints around the car, and more importantly, there were no boys. The car was found nearly 70 miles off their route home, on a dangerous unpaved road they had no reason to be on, especially in the middle of a winter night. The mystery had just begun. For the next 3 months, the search continued, but the heavy snowfall made it impossible. The families waited in agony. Then, in early June, as the snow began to melt, the case took its darkest turn. A group of motorcyclists stumbled upon an abandoned Forest Service trailer deep in the woods, nearly 20 miles uphill from where the car was found. When they opened the door, they were met with a horrifying sight. Inside, lying on a bed, was the body of Ted Weiher. He was wrapped in 8 blankets, like a mummy. He had grown a long, thick beard and had lost nearly 100 pounds. An autopsy revealed he had survived in that trailer for as long as 2 months before finally starving to death, despite being surrounded by food. The trailer was fully stocked with enough rations and dehydrated food to feed all 5 men for an entire year. Dozens of cans were neatly stacked, but only a few had been opened with a P38 can opener, which requires specific military training to use, training that only Gary Mathias and Jack Madruga had. There was a propane tank connected to a heater that was fully functional, but it had never been turned on. There were matches and paperback books right there, but nothing had been used to start a fire. It was as if Ted had just laid down and let himself freeze, surrounded by warmth and food. The discovery of Ted Wyher's body only led to more grim findings and deeper questions. A few days later, searchers found the remains of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling about 11 miles away from the car, on opposite sides of the road. Their bodies had been picked apart by animals. It appeared they had died of hypothermia, maybe trying to walk back for help. A week after that, Jackie Hoot's father found his son's bones under a bush just a couple of miles from the trailer. He was identified by his jeans and a pocket knife. But what about the 5th man, Gary Mathias? His tennis shoes were found inside the trailer, which suggested he had been there at some point. But Gary's body was never recovered. Why did Gary, who suffered from schizophrenia, leave his shoes behind and walk barefoot into the freezing wilderness? And the biggest question of all, why did 5 grown men abandon a perfectly functional car, walk 20 miles through deep snow uphill into a storm when they could have just driven home? It made no sense. Over the years, theories have ranged from the plausible to the outright terrifying. Did they get lost and panic? Possibly, but Jack Madruga, the driver, knew the area and hated the cold and the mountains. He would have never driven up there willingly. Another theory is that they witnessed something they shouldn't have, a crime. A secret meeting, and were forced to abandon their car. Someone might have chased them up the mountain, leading them to the trailer. But there were no signs of a struggle at the car or the trailer. Perhaps the most disturbing theory revolves around Gary Mathias. Given his history of schizophrenia, did he have a sudden psychotic episode and convince the others to follow him into the forest on some bizarre quest? This could explain the strange behavior, but his friends were fiercely protective of him. Would they really have followed him on such a dangerous journey? Then there's the Forest Service man theory. A witness named Joseph Shands claimed he got his own car stuck in the snow that same night, near where the mercury was found. He said he saw a group of men, a woman with a baby, and heard whistling. Later that night, he saw headlights he believed belonged to the boy's car, followed by another set of headlights. Could they have encountered someone else on that dark road? The chilling details that often get overlooked are what make this case so haunting. Ted Wyher's feet had severe frostbite. They were essentially black from gangrene. He was in unimaginable pain, yet he never tried to light the heater or build a fire. A window in the trailer was broken, but investigators concluded it was broken from the inside. Why? Was someone trying to get out or let someone in? It also appeared someone had laid out a gold watch on a table, which didn't belong to any of the 5 men. Witnesses who saw the group at the market before they disappeared reported that the men seemed agitated and were accompanied by another man who they didn't recognize. The store clerk said the men looked scared. Who was this other person? And what role did they play in what happened that night? To this day, nobody knows what made 5 grown men abandon a working car, walk 20 miles through deep snow, and slowly freeze to death while surrounded by food and heat. The official cause of death was hypothermia and exposure, but the story behind it remains one of America's most profound and heartbreaking mysteries. What do you think happened to the Yuba County Five? Let me know your theory in the comments below, because this case is still unsolved after all these years. If you want more terrifying, unsolved mysteries, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next one is even darker. Thanks for watching.